Hello, everybody. It is Tom, and I am sick. And not just mentally. This time, I am sick physically as well. As you can tell by my rosy nose. I just really liked Rudolph's style. My dad, when I was little, used to call me Rudy Red Nose when I had a cold, which was cute, but also I sometimes did not appreciate because I was suffering and had a freakishly red nose. I'm sorry, Rudolph. That was rude. Anyway. So yeah, I've once again managed to contract something illness-related after traveling to visit my family and returning home. I did test negative for the big C, so that's good. I'm so chronically online that the big C made me think of a word that I cannot say in a YouTube video, but oh Lord. We're off to a good start. Anyway, I've had my flu shot, I've had my COVID booster, so... fingers crossed. Some people have hypermobility. I have whatever the opposite of that is. Anyway, my initial plan for this week, because I'm off work until next Monday, was writing, making videos, cross-stitching, doing all kinds of stuff. But unfortunately, due to the fact that I spent yesterday sneezing approximately 17,000 times, I have not been able to do very much. In fact, I have just been watching things and resting and doing a little cross-stitch, but mostly not doing very much. But one of the things I did manage to do was watch two things I had been meaning to. The newest bit of Stranger Things, which I watched yesterday, and also, finally, Heated Rivalry. Now, both of those things I've been meaning to watch. I mean, obviously, Stranger Things just came out on Christmas Day, but anytime there's something popular that has come out, it's always a race against time. Every time I visit the YouTube main page or Instagram, there is a chance that I will be spoiled to something, either by someone, just a little bit of beef here with some reactors. Don't put a spoiler in the title of your video, okay? Especially if the thing has just come out. Now, I know it's been a little while for Heated Rivalry, but why will we? I don't know. Even someone posting an Empire Strikes Back video being Vader is Luke's father? That you're probably okay. But I hate it when a reactor posts a video and the title is Sarah is dead? Or I can't believe Joan and Susan got together. No, don't do that. So yeah, it's always a race against time for me to, be on the internet without being spoiled. So I got caught up on Stranger Things. Bottom line, there's always a bit of silliness in Stranger Things beyond what they intend. And there are definitely choices where I've been but overall, I like what they're doing with the characters. I'm in it for the characters. I'm enjoying myself. So good. But we're here to talk about Heated Rivalry because boy, have I been getting messages along the lines of, have you watched Heated Rivalry? Please watch Heated Rivalry. Have you watched Heated Rivalry? And I'm sure that that's common. I know a lot of people have been getting that. And I actually have read some of the series, but I could not remember which one. I've read a lot in the male romance hockey genre, which, yes, is a genre, which now is probably going to be booming even more. But yeah, the fact that I do not have HBO was the main thing that was stopping me from watching it. So finally, yesterday, I was like, you know what? I will just pay for 1 month of HBO. I will watch this series, and then I will cancel the auto-renew so that I'm only paying for 1 month. So I've done that. I watched it. I canceled my subscription, so I now have HBO until January 30th, so if there's anything else I should watch, let me know. But yeah, so here are my thoughts on Heated Rivalry. But first, I will take a drink because my throat is... I'm sick. Okay, so here are my thoughts. All right, so first of all, I am, as some of you know, I am demisexual. If you don't know what that means, it means I'm on the asexual spectrum, and I need to form an emotional connection before I am ready to move to the more physical stages of romance. And it should come as no surprise that I am similar in my personal life and my taste in media. So naturally, I love things like Heartstopper, where we get to see people falling in love and it's all about the characters, and the physical side of things is present, but not the main focus. So going into episodes 1 and 2 of Heated Rivalry, where it's like, okay, and there's going to be spoilers here, obviously. So if you don't want the spoilers, stop watching, come back once you've watched it. But yeah, going into episodes 1 and 2, despite the fact that I've read a ton of hockey romances, I'm not the biggest sports fan in general. Hockey is not bad. Like, I enjoy it, but I wouldn't seek it out. That's how I feel about a lot of sports. I don't mind them. I was in the marching band when I was in high school, so I went to, all the football games, basically. But I don't seek it out. So given that episodes 1 and 2 of Heated Rivalry are all hockey and sex, and sex based on physical attraction rather than emotional attraction at the start, I was sitting there like, should I just watch someone react to this? Like, have I wasted my money on paying for an entire month of HBO to watch this? Because I'm not really into this, but I stuck with it. I did fast forward through the sex scenes, which I know is completely opposite to what a lot of people do, but they are just not super interesting to me. Again, unless I'm really, here, wait, my light in protest is trying to run away. I promise I'm going to say good things about the show. So light, hang in there. But yeah, I fast forwarded through most of the sex scenes because I'm just not interested unless it's like meaningful and emotional. So I'm at the end of episode 2 and I'm like, okay, there's some interesting things going on here. Like, I like how we're learning more and more about these two people. I'm interested to see where this goes, but I'm not super invested. And then episode 3 came along and we switched over to Scott Hunter and Kip. And I realized, wait a sec, this is familiar because this is the book that I read. So whichever one in the series is the one about Scott and Kip is the book that I read. And I was like, the shift from like purely physical rivals, lots of hockey and sex, to like a very attractive hockey player meets charming barista and they slowly get to know each other and then it turns physical. That's a story that speaks to me more. So I was very invested in episode 3. I really enjoyed that one. And from then on, it was just like full speed ahead. I'm on board. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one whose favorite moments in the entire series was the end of episode 5 when Scott Hunter calls Kip down onto the ice. Now, I did remember that. I think, does that happen in the book? Probably. It's been a long time since I read it. But like, not only was it a beautiful moment for itself, that moment when like he just kind of he's thinking about it. You see the thoughts. They meet eyes, and he starts coming over, and he starts going over, and then he's like, "Come on, come down," and then he just like, oh, it was so beautiful. But what made it so amazing was the fact that Ilya and Shane were both watching. Like, I loved that, just without making any overt commentary about the importance of representation, seeing how much that moment changed everything for them. Like, the idea of just having one person who is brave enough to come out and say, this is who I am, and like be unashamedly who they are in public. Like that, especially in a sport like hockey where it's not like, was just fantastic. Like, we all know that representation matters, and so many of us are fans of Heartstopper and have been like, wow, I wish I had something like this when I was a kid. But like, that moment so beautifully illustrated that. And like the music in the background, and they're both watching, and Shane is watching with his parents. And like, speaking of, like, Shane's dad kills me. Like, he's so just delightfully awkward. But in any case, like, seeing that moment be so expanded and seeing it through their eyes as well as Scott's and Kip's, and like followed up by, of course, like the phone call, I want to come to the cottage, or whatever he said. Essentially, like, this gave them the push that they needed to move forward in their relationship. And like, episode 6, so focused on their emotional connection and like telling Shane's parents and how that all went. Like, mwah, chef's kiss. Beautiful. I loved it. So yeah, so overall, like, my thoughts on Heated Rivalry, great. Very much enjoyed it. One thing that I was thinking while I was watching is like, they are very built. Like, Ilya has larger breasts than I did before my top surgery. Like, they are so built. And I think that you can kind of be like, okay, that makes sense because they're hockey players. But like, why is Kip the barista so built? Like he's not as much as the others, but I don't know. I wouldn't have minded if there was some more like, average body types in there, but that's not what this was, and that's fine. It's like, it's not even a complaint. It's just like something when I was watching, I was like, oh, well, But yeah, so I think that the reason why a lot of people watched this was for the sex scenes, and I was doing it for the opposite of that, but I still really enjoyed it. Again, like episodes 1 and 2, if you are in a similar situation as me, and you're watching episodes 1 and 2, and you're like checking your watch and fast forwarding, don't worry. The emotional connection grows, and you have Scott and Kip, who I really enjoy, and just like in general, I do think it's worth watching. Just like this morning, I saw footage on Instagram, like it's a news program, but I saw someone had posted the reaction of their local sports bar to the end of episode 5 of Heated Rivalry, which like that was so amazing, like watching everyone just screaming and cheering and being so like when when they kissed on the ice, and when like I want to come to the cottage. Again, I'm probably not getting that line right, but like it was wonderful to see. But also, would you feel comfortable watching Heated Rivalry in a public setting? Like I mean, maybe I'm probably coming at it from a skewed perspective because of the whole asexual spectrum thing, but like I'm not sure I would feel comfortable watching this with even one other person, let alone an entire sports bar. But maybe at that point it reaches but like imagine you're sitting there like trying to enjoy your chips and your drink, and like Shane and Ilya are just doing the things that Shane and Ilya do in the background. Anyway, yeah, so those are my thoughts. Yeah, if you have seen it, what did you think? What were your thoughts? In general, I feel like anytime we have media like this, it's a win for the queer community. It's great to see positive media about queer people out there. And, in any of these, there are flaws. There's always going to be flaws. There's always going to be things that we don't all relate to. It would be great, like, if this, like, I would love to see a lesbian drama. I would love to see other groups represented, but this is still a good thing. Like, it is still a good thing that shows like Heartstopper, Heated Rivalry, movies like Red, White, and Royal Blue have been doing so well, even Stranger Things. But in any case, I think it's good that we have these things that are showing media companies that there is mass appeal here. Like, it's not a niche thing to focus on queer characters. It's not a niche thing to tell queer stories. All right, so those are my thoughts. I'm now going to go make a cup of tea. I did also want to do a video about my holidays because I went to Sacramento and spent Christmas with my family for the first time in a really long time, and it was really nice. Like I had a wonderful time. We had hail on Christmas Day, like downpouring rain and hail. Lovely Christmas hail. So I hopefully will be able to talk about that in a video later. But for now, just know it was a good experience, and I had a great time. And we did karaoke, which was interesting. I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. I've not sung much in a while because since my voice dropped, like I'm missing a whole gap in my register. So there's like, I can do low, I can kind of do high, but there's a whole gap there in between that I need to break. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's all for me. Hope you're having a wonderful end of December or beginning of January if you're watching this then. I hope 2026 will be a good year. Will it? Who knows? Let's say this. I hope there will be enough good things in 2026 to outweigh everything else that's going on. And I do feel like positive things are happening. People are doing things that are good. But yeah, I'm wishing all of you a very happy new year, and I will see you on the other side on 2026. I will see you in 2026 when hopefully I will be less Rudolph and sneezy and all that. Well, I'm a dwarf and a reindeer at the same time. Okay, that's all. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whatever time of day it may happen to be, and I'll see you next time. Oh, also, Thank you, patrons. I'm sick. That's my excuse for everything. Huge thanks, as always, to our patrons who are amazing, wonderful, fantastic, spectacular, phenomenal, and wonderful. And a special shout out to our Nick Nelson members, Paul Z, Kim Engel, Kent Smither, Angela Moondragon, and Tanya. Okay, that's it for real. Bye.